So the first one here is B-movie game. You know, another nice little pickup to add to the collection. I think Brown Man did also play the B-movie game. I don't recall if he ever finished it because I think his version crashed and he couldn't get it to work. But it's nice to, you know, another movie tie-in, but as long as I'm paying $3 and technically a little less than $3 with the deal I got, keeping on that theme. Next one is Transformers the game. And this one has the bonus disc. I did check that it has it, so I was happy to get it because it has it in there. Yeah, it has the bonus disc here. Not for resale, although it is. And once again, keeping on the same theme. You know, I'm definitely at some point I'm gonna get all the PS2 movie games, and I'm gonna have them all, and then I can finally be like, okay, I can ignore those now because I don't need them for the collection. One day that will happen. It's happening quite fast. The Tale of Despereaux. So another nice little pickup to get. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't really have much to say about it, but you know, have to get it, fill out the collection. Kind of marking those off, like I said. The next movie tie-in game from Lusher with Love. Kind of interesting that they go back and do this one. Another complete, and once again, all complete, all in good to decent condition. Like you saw earlier, some of the discs maybe not in the best condition, but I think I can make them work. The next one, keeping with that, the Godfather game. Welcome to the family. EA game, interestingly enough. And this has a map as well. I was kind of surprised to see that. I don't really see anything else there, but let me pull out the map real quick. And then never fold it out again. Let me see if I can get a shot of this. Into the world of the Godfather. So anyway, yeah, another, you know, movie tie-in game, but this one actually is really good condition. Just whatever that brown stuff is there. Let's not think about it too hard. Okay, I assume it's not a tie-in. I don't know enough about true crime. Anyway, it's True Crime New York City. I think isn't True Crime a newer series? I really don't know. I'm just gonna shut up about it. So yeah, another good pickup to get. So relating to the Godfather, Sopranos, Road to Respect. A little tie-in. Earn your cut. And this one is a bonus DVD. I don't know if it says on it. I guess it doesn't really say on here, but yeah, I had Road to Respect there. And then also had limited edition bonus content. I guess I'll have to check if maybe there's a different version that says it's limited edition. This one doesn't really say anywhere limited edition. And yet the disc with the limited edition is there. Kind of makes it awkward to keep this together. but yeah, kind of interesting that, you know, actually 2 games there that had the bonus discs as well. So getting out of the tie-in games, which are quite a few there. The next one actually is an interesting pickup to me. ChoroQ Atlas game. You know, I saw the Atlas on it. I was like, oh, that should be interesting. And this describes itself as an RPG adventure car game. So, interesting. Yeah, I got best elements of a high-octane racing game and role-playing game. So that should be interesting to play. You know, I'm happy to pick up Atlas games. That's kind of a no-brainer. Once I see Atlas, I'm like, well, picking that up. And, you know, like the others, it was $3, so happy to do that. Okay, so the last of those PS2 pickups was Destroy All Humans. So I'm happy to pick that up. Actually, as the time of recording this, I think, oh no, he's playing, Brown Man just started playing Destroy All Humans 2. Yeah, the manual on this one's a little messed up, but it's the greatest hits. I don't mind that as much. This is a little scratched. But I'm happy to try to play that at some point because I actually have not played Destroy All Humans. So the first of the 2 was Tetris 2. This is in good shape. Looks good. And it comes with a sleeve. I just have to pick up more sleeves. So the next one is To the Earth. Definitely have never heard of this one before, but it says outer space action. Outer space action. So that's good to pick up. And these are both in really good condition with sleeves, so that's nice to get those.
Avoid detection. Gather intelligence. Destroy anything in your path.
Okay, so the last pickups were from 2 pawn shops and then from 1 video game store that was in the area that I just went to check out just to see what they have. So the first pawn shop I went to, actually, I saw right away that they were like, oh, PS3 games are on sale for $3, and they had them marked at like $5 and $6. So the first one that I picked up here was Dead Rising 2. I think Game Grumps, actually, talking more about the YouTube channels I watch, I guess. Game Grumps recently finished playing through Dead Rising 2. So that kind of spurred me on to pick it up. See, there's some water damage on the back there, but that's alright. Ooh. This person bought this for $27 at the time. But, yeah, Dead Rising 2 with PS3. So I'm happy to pick that up for $3. The other one I picked up was all $3. Dragon's Dogma for the PS3. I believe it's similar to Dragon Age, action type of game. So I'm kind of excited to play it because I do enjoy the Dragon Age games. That's a nice addition, you know. I'd say if you're a person who enjoys like the last generation of consoles and or missed out on a lot of it, definitely start going to pawn shops, because there right now the Xbox 360 and PS3 I keep finding for, they're either around $5 and you can bundle them to get it lower, or they're already $3. So the next pawn shop, they also had PS3 for $3 and Wii as well. The first one's kind of an interesting pickup that I got. Siren, new translation. And you'll see on the back here that this is not a US game. This is a Japanese game. So it's kind of interesting that they had it. Someone imported it or brought it over and then sold it to a pawn shop. But it's a horror adventure. I know a lot of these games like Clock Tower and stuff like that will be pretty rare. So that's part of the reason why I picked it up, just because it's interesting, that it was unique. I hadn't seen it before. It'll definitely stand out. I don't know if maybe there is a US release as well out there somewhere. Don't know. But definitely interesting one. So the next pickup was another $3 one. Ace Combat Assault Horizon. I don't know. I assume the Ace Combats get better as time goes on. I picked up a lot of the ones for the PS2, and I also got the PSP version as well. But this one I definitely haven't played. This one looks like they're trying to, with the characters on it, looks like they're trying to integrate more of a story, but I don't know about that. But for $3, I'll definitely pick it up to try out. Next pickup from that same for $3 is a lesson to me of patience. And it should be a lesson for anybody in this hobby. I think patience is a good one to have, because you won't get the games you want immediately, but eventually you're going to get them, and you're going to get good prices on them if you just wait and look around. So it was Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. I'd wanted to play it. I actually hadn't played it before, and literally, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something like that, I was in a GameStop, just looking around while I waited for a flea market to open, and I saw they had Super Mario Galaxy for $10. so I picked it up. I was like, $10 for Super Mario Galaxy. I think that's a good price, and I want to play it, so picked it up, and that's what I get for not waiting. Literally a few weeks later in a pawn shop, and there it is for $3.
戦いは自由を手に入れた Dragon's Dogma.
Okay, so went out again towards the end of March. Just went to the pawn shops in the area. I'm trying to hit them up, every 2 weeks or so, just because they do get in new stuff. The first pickup that I got was a set of just a set of few games here from a pawn shop. They have a big stack of sports games, a PS2, and then some actually, strangely, some Sega Genesis sports games. It's like PS2 and Sega Genesis are, for whatever reason, their main out on display. Did manage to find something I didn't have already, Tetris Worlds. I do have the I picked up Star Wars Clone Wars for PS2 a little while back, and I have the combo for Xbox. I had that. I think that came with my Xbox. So now I have both the games that make up that set now for PS2, so that's nice to get. I was never too into Tetris, but certainly the Star Wars on Xbox I played. So they did actually have one GameCube game there, and so I bought it. But it's a 007 Nightfire. And that is complete there as well. It's just surprising to see a GameCube game. Definitely, they're a little more rare. I think right now a lot of people are buying them up since they remember the GameCube. 2 other games I picked up were PSP games. The next one I picked up because I started watching like some of the game collecting videos and a lot of like the top 10, top 10 PS2 PSP games and PS2 games. And there's a few out there like Middle Jesus Rocks and stuff like that who do those videos, and I think they're good videos for people who don't know a lot about the library, which is I'm certainly one of those. I have a PSP and I had one a long time ago, but I basically played like Third Birthday and Crisis Core, and that was really it. I don't remember playing much else on my PSP, so now that I'm back into it, I'm happy to learn about some games I missed. So one that I picked up was Split Second, and that's a good pickup. I know also there's a Funhouse video where I think it was either Wheelhouse or Demo Disc where they played Split Second, and James is really into it.
Good tension building.
Now, Adam! Switch the routes!
Did he do it?
Yeah, look, this whole fucking thing's gonna come down and crush all first place. Double wreck!
Wow!
I told you!
Shit.
And then you can use it to open up a shortcut,
Whoa!
and it'll close right behind you. Yes!
You're like the whiz. You're like Fred Savage of Split Second.
I remember every turn.
Pretty hilarious. But that's a good pickup. I guess on the PSP, I think it's the same version of that was on the PS2 and all that, but it seems to look pretty good for being on a mobile device. So that'll be fun to play. And the next one I picked up just because I was curious about it, Medieval Resurrection, complete, and like I said, these were $3, so picked it out. With PSP, it's definitely something people aren't valuing very much, so I've been getting them pretty cheap. And when you go to like a pawn shop, which I got these from a pawn shop, there's usually a bunch of the PSP UMD movies, and they're just most of it's that, and then there's a few games mixed in. So I've been picking those up where I can. So the next 3 are from another pawn shop, and this is why I think I'm going to try to go every 2 weeks. I probably should go more. I hear from some people that are like, oh yeah, I go to the thrift store like every other day to check for stuff, and I bet you get good picks with that, but oof, that's a lot of visits. This pawn shop that mostly had Xbox games that I'd never bought something from before. They suddenly had some Nintendo cartridges, and so I bought 3 N64 games, and the guy at the desk, I was like, oh, can I see those games in the shelf? And he's like, oh yeah, the 3 Nintendo games. What do you want? What do you want to give me for them? And I was like, well, I guess I'll test the waters. And I said, how about 10 for the 3 there? And he was like, that sounds fine. But the three that I picked up for that was the first was Hybrid Heaven. So that was a good pickup. I think I did see this on a highlight video as well, where it's like a action game, but it has RPG elements on it. So that'll be interesting to play. I definitely never played this before. See the back's a little messy on this one. Hopefully I can get that sticker in the middle off without peeling off the back. I'm definitely going to try because I just don't like having stickers and stuff on them. So the next one is definitely a good one. One that I did play, and I'm sure a lot of people did, is Wave Race 64. This one is actually in really good condition. I guess it is a player's choice version, so that might not be as worth it as like original version, but you know what? That's fine with me. Certain sports games I'm willing to pick up. It's always tough because you're like, well, I don't want to pick up any sports games because there's so many when I'm collecting, but then you run into something like that. It's like, oh wait, this is actually a good game. The next one, I don't know how good it is. I really just picked it up because he was willing to sell me all three, so I guess I'm gonna find out. But it was Ready to Rumble Boxing for the N64, and this one also good condition. So that's kind of a factor too, where it's like, oh well, they're in good condition too, so I might as well pick it up. 10 for those and 12 for the top row there. So that's pretty good.
Water churning, tide turning, sun burning, wave crashing, head bashing, ride, glide, colliding, high flying, fish frying, eye crossing.
Okay, so the next one isn't technically a game pickup, I guess you'd say, but it's definitely a funny story of I went to a flea market that's in town that I go to quite often. And I just go because it's close. It's not really a great source. But this time I walked in and I looked on a shelf of just some random DVDs, and I saw this, The Legend of Dragoon, and my eyes bugged out of my head, and I had a small heart attack. And then once the paramedics left, I looked at it and saw, football discs that says there on the side. And, lo and behold, if you open it up, well, I guess I should say I didn't take them, but it is empty, unfortunately. But I opened it up, and there were three, not even like actual football matches, or games. It was 3 burned DVDs of football matches. And I was just like, what is this even? The craziness that you'll find at a flea market. So they recorded football matches, and then they burned them to DVDs, and then at some point they had an extra The Legend of Dragoon case just sitting around, and they're like, well, I need to put them in something, so they put them in that and wrote on the front football discs. So anyway, I took it up to the front desk, and they looked at it and like, oh, there's 3 discs in there, so it's $3. And I was like, actually, I don't really want the discs. I just want the case that I'm interested in. And he was like, okay, $1.50 for the case. And I've seen some recommendations about, if you're collecting on a budget for stuff like this, try to piece it together. And I think that's a good suggestion, just because I'm going to be out there. If I find Legend of Dragoon loose, I have a case for it now. And, of course I have to find the manual as well. But also, part of me feels like I was kind of rescuing it in a strange sense. I know that sounds dumb, and it is dumb, but a game like that, the case is going to be useful to someone. If not me, then eventually someone's going to be like, oh yeah, I actually do need a case for Legend of Dragoon. And so having the case, the inserts more specifically, is worth it. So while I was out, I also went to a bunch of garage sales, and about 6 or 7. It's still a bit cold out, so there's not too many, but struck out at all those. But I went to another flea market that I go to on the weekends that sometimes has outside vendors, and there's a few people inside that trade games as well. So, and I did run across one vendor that was selling games. They had $5 on these games, but I got the 3 for $6. I don't think they were too serious about that $5 mark. I just said, would you take 6 for these 3? and they were fine with it. So the three I picked up, PS2 titles, I should say. The first one is Midway Arcade Treasures 2. It's actually kind of a cool collection of Midway games, arcade style game, the arcade games. Quick shot there. I feel like one of these Midway collections is worth money or something like that. I don't remember. It's one of those things, but this is in good condition. And it's good to add to the old PS2 collection, so I picked it up. Another collection game, Namco Museum. So some of the old Namco games. Kind of see there. I think this is probably a good way for me to play some of the older games without having to, especially if I want to try to record those at some point to use for video editing as well. Instead of having to try to figure out how to record an Atari or, or something like that, record an NES, I have a way of playing it. So that's a good, thick manual too on this one. Always interested when, some manuals are like 3 pages especially on later consoles, and then some manuals are just books. But I guess that makes sense because there's a lot of games there to give instructions for. On the last one, I almost didn't pick up because it's missing the manual, but I thought that it might be kind of uncommon. I don't think I'm right about that, but still worth it. I mean, it's $2, so still worth it. Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. And this one's actually pretty dirty too, but like I mentioned, unfortunately the manual is missing. So, and actually I didn't even notice there's a movie gallery sticker on there, so that'll be interesting. See if I can get that off. Okay, so another pawn shop I went to. Getting these by going every few weeks, I seem to be getting some small pickup. So the next two were $2 a piece. I went in and they had some N64 games behind their glass, and so I took a look at them and grabbed 2. And the lady, it's another one of those where they asked, well, what would you give me for them? And I said, well, how about 6 for the 2? And then the person was like, oh, well, that one's kind of messed up, so how about just 4 for the 2? The one that's kind of messed up, and the first one is the South Park game, and you can see there it's pretty dirty on the label, a little torn up there. Hopefully I'll be able to clean off at least the sides and all that, but I'll have to be extra careful. I know N64 the label can be very touchy, so I'll have to try to get some cleaning done there. But hopefully I can at least get it a little better, because I know this is a good one to have for the N64. Anyway, the next game is a third-person shooter, WinBack, Covert Operations. And this one's in a little better condition. It's funny how it goes. Where when I started out, I had 3 N64 games, and now I'm closer to 15. But as I was collecting, I wasn't finding any. I was finding PlayStation, and for Nintendo, I was finding Super Nintendo and a lot of NES. But N64 seemed to be rare at the time. The last 2 that I picked up were 2 NES games from another pawn shop. This one, unfortunately, I don't know how much I'll go back to, because they had some that were behind towards the back area in some boxes, and they had some pretty high prices on them. And with these, even once I picked out some that I wanted, the guy went and looked them up on eBay before he would sell them to me. So I guess he was just concerned that they might be worth more than what they were originally labeled. But he said he'd say, well, I might even go down in price on them, and maybe he would have. I don't have any reason to suspect that the guy was gypping me off, but unfortunately, it's for me. I'm trying to collect under $5. So first one is that I picked up at 5 is Gyruss. I picked it up because the cover art on it looked pretty cool. In good condition for 5, I think it's pretty worth it. So that was good to pick up. The last one that I picked up was a copy of Ghostbusters 2 with a nice Nintendo case. So that was a little added bonus to get a Nintendo case. But this one's in good condition as well, as you can see. It might be Ghostbusters 2, or it might be the first one where it has that the huge stairs that you have to climb up. No, I think that might be the first one because it makes sense for the movies that it would be the first one. But this is the second one, so glad to pick that up and get a little Nintendo case with it as well.